and an ominous house at the end, an image of solitude and mystery. Amidst the peaceful humdrum of everyday life, our protagonist arrives. An outsider, a stranger drawn to this town not by its charm, but by the allure of the unknown. A whispering wind carries tales of the house, a structure that seems more than just bricks and mortar. A house that has stood the test of time, bearing witness to the ebb and flow of life and death. From the outside, the house seems like any other, but it hides a secret beneath its worn-out facade. The walls, aged by the weather and time, carry an eerie air of mystery. The windows, clouded with dust and grime, hold a vacant stare like the eyes of a somnambulist. The once vibrant paint, now faded and peeling, gives the house an almost spectral appearance. It stands there, silent and brooding, a solitary figure in the otherwise bustling street. Our protagonist, undeterred by the unsettling aura, feels an inexplicable pull towards it, as if the house itself is calling out, beckoning him to uncover its concealed truth. The stories of the house, whispered by the townsfolk, only serve to fuel his curiosity. Tales of strange occurrences, of unexplained sounds echoing through the halls in the dead of night. Stories of previous inhabitants who vanished without a trace, their fate as unknown as the house's history itself. A sense of trepidation fills the air as our protagonist approaches the house. The chilling wind seems to whisper warnings, the rustling leaves seem to murmur cautionary tales. Yet, he is undeterred. The mystery of the house, the enigma that it presents, is too compelling to resist. With a determined resolve, he reaches the front porch, the creaking wooden steps echoing his arrival. As he stands in front of the massive front door, he takes a deep breath. The decision has been made. There is no turning back now. The key turns in the lock, the door creaks open, revealing the darkness within. Unaware of the chilling experiences that lay ahead, our protagonist steps through the creaking front door. As the door closes behind, the house breathes life, revealing its spine-tingling secrets. The protagonist, lured by curiosity and driven by an unexplainable force, begins to explore the seemingly mundane house. Yet as they tread deeper into the heart of the home, it starts to feel anything but ordinary. The air grows denser, the silence deepens, and the temperature drops noticeably, making each breath feel like a gulp of icy water. An inexplicable chill runs down their spine, an unnerving sign of what's to come. They move from room to room, each one carrying a unique sense of dread, a different story to tell. The protagonist can feel the cold spots, areas in the house where the temperature plummets low enough to freeze the blood in their veins. They feel as though invisible eyes watch their every move, an unseen presence lurking in the corners of their vision. The house, it seems, is not silent. It speaks in a language only the brave or the foolish would dare to understand. Strange sounds echo through the empty halls, a symphony of the supernatural. The gentle creak of old wood, the soft whisper of the wind, the low hum of something alive yet not quite living. The protagonist can hear them, these eerie sounds that seem to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. And then, there are the shadows. Oh, the moving shadows. They dance and flicker in the corners of the rooms, under the furniture, behind the drapes. Shadows that seem to have a life of their own, independent of any light source. They twist and contort in ways that defy logic, creating forms that are almost human. The house is a labyrinth of the bizarre, the strange, and the downright terrifying. Each corner turned, each room entered brings forth a new, unsettling discovery. It's a house that seems to breathe, to watch, to whisper in the dark. A house that hides more than it reveals. The unsettling whispers of the house echo, "You are not alone." Every room in the house carries a story, each more frightening than the last. Such is the case with our haunted dwelling. A once grand family home, it stands as a relic of bygone days, a chilling monument to a series of unexplained tragedies. The house, with its creaking floorboards and whispering walls, seems to breathe with the memories of its past occupants. Each room bears the scar of a tale untold, a sinister history that has been concealed by the passage of time. Let's delve into this dark past, shall we? The first room, a spacious parlor, was once filled with the sound of laughter and the warmth of family gatherings. But it also witnessed the first of many tragedies. The original owner, a wealthy industrialist, met his untimely demise right here. He was found lifeless one morning, his face etched with an expression of sheer terror. The cause? Unknown. His death was the first of many that would plague this house. Next we venture into the master bedroom, a place of rest turned into a chamber of horrors. Here, 3 successive occupants met their end. Each of them succumbed in their sleep, their faces twisted in fear, just like the industrialist. No cause of death could be determined. The room soon earned a chilling moniker, the Room of Silent Screams. Finally, the attic, a space filled with old trinkets, forgotten memories, and a chilling history. The last family to reside here vanished without a trace. Their belongings were left undisturbed, their lives seemingly interrupted midstream. Again, no explanation was found. The house, with its dark history, seems to have a life of its own. It's a place where joy turns into despair, and life gives way to the inexplicable. It's a place that has seen too much, knows too much. The house, a silent witness to a series of tragedies, carries the weight of its sinister past. In the heart of darkness, our protagonist faces their worst nightmare. Our hero finds himself standing at the precipice of his own fear, the air around him thick with the chilling presence of the supernatural entity that haunts these forsaken halls. He is an unwelcome guest in a house of horrors, a stranger lost in the labyrinth of the unknown. He could feel the cold tendrils of terror wrapping around his heart, squeezing the courage out of him. The entity, a specter of shadows and whispers, makes its grand appearance. It is a grotesque dance of darkness and light, a swirling mass of terror that defies the very laws of nature. It was a sight that could drive a mortal man to madness, an otherworldly creature that seemed to have clawed its way out from the darkest corners of a nightmare. Our protagonist's heart pounds in his chest like a war drum, the blood in his veins turning to ice. He could feel his sanity teetering on the edge, his mind threatening to shatter under the weight of the terror before him. But he is not ready to succumb to the darkness. He is not ready to become another forgotten victim in this house of horrors. With a surge of adrenaline, he fights back against the fear, the dread that threatens to consume him. He struggles against the paralyzing grip of the supernatural, his will to survive stronger than any fear. He stumbles, he falls, but he continues to move, to run, to escape the clutches of the entity. Through the twisted halls he races, the entity a relentless pursuer. Every shadow, every creaking floorboard, every gust of cold wind feels like the entity's icy touch. But he does not stop. He cannot stop, not until he has escaped this nightmare, and then, in a final act of defiance, he finds a way out. A sliver of hope in the heart of darkness, a chance to escape the terrifying encounter that has forever seared itself into his memory. A face-off with the unknown, a dance with death itself, a desperate fight for survival, a frantic escape from the jaws of death. Picture a heart pounding like a war drum, each beat a desperate plea for survival. Our protagonist, running for their life, barely eludes the sinister forces that had held them captive. At last they burst through the front door, greeted by the cold, crisp air of the outside world. The haunted house, once a prison, now dwindles in the rearview mirror, its menacing silhouette swallowed by the night. Our protagonist is safe, but the ordeal is far from over. Their life, once ordinary, is now a shadow of its former self. Every creak of a floorboard, every flicker of a light bulb sends shivers down their spine. In the light of day, the house reverts to its eerie calm. Its malevolent aura concealed behind a facade of normalcy, it waits. The protagonist's story spreads, a chilling tale of horror and survival. The haunted house becomes a local legend, whispered about in hushed tones. Its very existence a testament to the unknown, the inexplicable, the terrifying.